It's time to step inside the Octagon with your host, Ike Feldman.
What's up, fight fans? What's up, combat sports community? Your boy, Ike Feldman, back in the saddle, riding those Dagestani horses. I did hear, fun fact, that Dagestanis have great top control because they rode horses. So that's not a reference out of left field. And this is not a guest out of left field. Tommy Gunn. Is it Tommy Gunn Fitzsimons or Tommy Gunn Fitzsimons?
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn.
All right. Being joined by Tommy Gunn Fitzsimons, at Tom Fitzsimons on Instagram.
At Thomas Fitzsimons on Instagram.
Yes,
sir.
The dude has definitely robbed a bank in Europe and doesn't want to be caught. He's shifting
Many
up on
aliases.
There you go.
Yes.
Amazing. First and foremost, thank you for coming to Mi Casa, Mi Studio.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You make me feel like a bum. Usually I like to provide some type of meal. Dude, you're plain water. Is this a normal intermittent fasting? Do you have fruit, nuts in the car? Like, talk me through the nutritional side of training camp.
Well, first of all, I just like to be as low maintenance as possible. I made sure I ate before I came here. You know, I don't want to take too much of you. You having me on your show is already great for me. So,
no, I don't think people give their guests enough credit. Like, the show would only happen if it's for you and other people like you, other fighters like you, or combat sports community members, personalities, nutritionists, whatnot. But yeah, we're about 2 weeks away, February 1st. I just got approved. Shout out to Ryan Munkin for the media credential for the Combat at the Space in Westbury. Have you competed in the Westbury?
My favorite place to fight at. By the way, I love fighting for Rare Combat, love fighting at the Space in Westbury. By far my favorite venue I fought at so far.
What's your reasons? I have my own.
So, well, first off, like from a fan perspective, I think it's great. You know, it's like in an actual theater, you have actual seats. Like, there's not a bad seat in the house pretty much for those fights. It's very intimate too. The arena itself is very small. But for me to fight there, the reasons I like it is because I get my own private dressing room, which is really nice. I don't get it at any other venues pretty much. Like my own private shower afterwards. I could take a shower after. It's real nice. But yeah, I just think the way they run things, super smooth, super cool. And yeah, I love that venue.
Yeah, I love the first thing you said. I think that the real close atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen one of these, but a Duke game, the crowd's like on top of the court. Like
shit, I've never seen that.
They move like the celebrities, and it may be different. I haven't seen a Duke highlight. Like Duke Tar Heels is like the rivalry of rivalries in college basketball, and it's like the fans are part of the game. And
oh, that's real cool.
Essentially, I suggest to anybody who's a true mixed martial arts fan, not just a UFC fan, but you love the art of the performance. Go to one of these local shows, whether it's Flex, Lou Neglia's, what else is there? Go to a boxing match. Like, there's something special because it's more emotion. It's not somebody who's just a fan. They could be a friend and know the fighter like yourself, or a family member and have blood to it. So it's like an extra energy. Like, when the Donnie Arena team is there, it's like, you guys better not talk crap because there will be a gangs in New York.
For sure.
It's like I love the closeness of the fighter to the fan aspect, especially at the Space. Were you in attendance for the MSG show?
Yes, I was.
It's fun, still loud. Tommy Beethoven's contingent was there.
Yep.
But it's a little more distant.
Yeah.
With the Combat at the Space, it really does feel like a
it
college
amplifies
basketball.
the energy.
Yeah.
Like the place rumbles, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I love. That's what I love.
Are you allowed to choose a walkout song? I know there's
unfortunately,
some people can't, some people can.
In the past, I haven't been able to, but I think I'll be able to get one.
For this one?
For this one, I definitely will be able to get one.
Right,
but in the past, I haven't. Like for these shows, I haven't. But now I feel like I can pull a few strings and get my own.
You got to talk to Hunter Campbell, apparently. Like, if you know Hunter, you'll get it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like I can get one. I still have to do it. I got to reach out but I definitely feel like I can do it.
What song?
I've walked out to a few songs. So the first song I ever walked out to, this was for my first ever kickboxing fights for Jackhammer. I walked out to "For Whom the Bells Tolls" by Metallica.
Oh, and I forgot Bobby Campbell's Jackhammer.
Yes.
My apologies. I forgot. Shout outs to Bobby Campbell.
And then my fights after that, I walked out to "Gimme Shelter" by the Rolling Stones.
Nice.
Yep.
Ray Longo must have loved that.
Oh, loved it. Actually, one of the reasons I chose that was because the week before Nate Diaz fought Tony Ferguson, and he walked out to "Give Me Shelter."
Yes, UFC 279.
Yes, and
I believe.
I was talking to Ray, and he was like, "How do you not love Nate Diaz? He even walked out to "Give Me Shelter" by the Rolling Stones," and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna do that. That's sick."
It's
But,
true.
Like even too, like when I saw him walk out to that, like the energy, and I even love like the way like the music is in the back, like how it starts off kind of slow and then slowly rumbles. Love that. And then my last fight, I walked out to "Overtime" by Zach Bryan. If you know that song.
I know Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
I've been listening lately, and I heard him on, I think it was Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that Luke? Wait,
He's been on Rogan.
Luke
Yes,
Bryan
there's
and Zach Bryan.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
are they
different,
brothers?
two different people.
Are
No.
they related at all?
They're not related. They just have similar names. But
Both
yes,
country guys?
Both country guys.
All right, then give me a break on that. It's like somebody be like, "Oh, 50 Cent and Game are the same people."
Yeah. But I don't know. I might switch it up. I'm still yet to decide.
Do you like E. Machado's walkout? What's that song?
Layla. It's Layla.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I do, but I mean I don't like the reasons why he's doing it. You know, his girl, but I have a whole thing with his girl.
I was gonna say for a second, I was like, wait, I've heard.
It's
Layla
like
before.
it's a good like yeah. I don't know where I stand on the whole position with him and his girl. You know that whole
We could get into that.
That whole wag thing. But like it has a good like idea behind like all right, he's walking out for his wife. I get it, but like how that whole relationship is, I think is a little sketchy. So I don't approve of that. But the song is cool.
Good roundabout answer. You running for office soon?
Trying to be PG, you know. I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Vote for Tommy Gunn. Tommy Gunn. Wait, Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn.
And the shout outs to Steve Lee, right?
Shout out to Steve Lee.
Came up with the name. Shout outs to Steve Lee.
Steve Lee didn't come up with the name.
Oh.
Actually, Kelvin Sterling came up with the name.
Let's go.
I was sparring one day, and he was just like, he's like hovering. You know how people Saturday spar, they just kind of hover around the cage.
Dude, it's cool. Yes.
It's sick. By the way, it's sick. Like if you can somehow make your way to a Saturday at Longo's
and not be a spy
and like see the sparring, it's so sick. But in between rounds one day, he was just right like hanging out, and he was like, bring out the Tommy gun, and it just stuck ever since then.
Yes.
Frivola heard him say that, and Frivola has been like pushing on it. At first I was like hesitant about taking it, but like it's grown on me. I think it's a dope name now.
Yeah, and when you're in the UFC, you know what you got to walk out with, right?
Oh my God! I gotta come out with a gun and a little fedora.
Maybe a cardboard copy, because
yeah,
you never know
I don't
in
think
big arenas.
Could. Yes, yeah, but
take him down. No, he's part of the show.
Yeah.
And a mobster, like a 1920 mobster. I just saw De Niro, and we were talking before about the Sheik. He just posted, which means he's probably got his hand in the pot. He just posted the Robert De Niro trailer of a Martin Scorsese movie, and I was like, I like this guy more and more. Like, as much as it's good. It's good that we're coming together.
Yes.
Like with the boxing promotions. I think 2025 will be the biggest combat sports year in a long time. I just saw the boxing fights that they're trying to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Haney, Garcia rematch. In the past, it would have never happened. We would have looked at it like, oh man, shucks. Fury said he's retired, but Fury Joshua would be fun. We got Usyk Du Bois. I don't know if you're big into boxing.
Yeah, I'm not as big into boxing as I am MMA.
I'm learning up. So
yeah.
MMA side, yes, I'm picking DDP. I feel like he's only evolving more.
Mm-hmm.
Love Strickland, but I just feel it's DDP's time. DDP Hamzat. Oh my God, you could get Topuria versus Makachev, Bilal versus Shavkat. Like 2020, could be John Jones Aspinall or Jones Francis. Like 2025, I think is just going to be the biggest year, and people can knock it, but Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul on Netflix would just be massive.
Yeah, it would be massive.
Just to get him training and on the mic and out of trouble, because the dude, he's just slipping. It's like, have you heard the saying, idle hands?
No, I haven't.
Do the devil's work.
Oh, okay.
Like, a small microcosm example of that for me is if I'm watching a movie, I'm like picking at my face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, at least with video games,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interactive. But the example is that if you have nothing to do, then your hands will find something to do. And it's like, I think the UFC, have you heard that John Jones wants the fuck you money now?
Yes, I've heard that. Yep.
Dana White, and as you pointed out off air in the Roku series, Dana White and Hunter Campbell, I think a strategy, just wait out Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He'll trip, and then he'll come back at a cheaper price. Would you agree to that? If we're being cynical businessmen.
No, I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Like, he's bound to shoot himself in the foot.
No pun intended, but he might.
No, literally. But he's bound to get himself into trouble.
Do you remember Dom Reyes last fight at heavyweights, and Cyril Gane was 3 years? I think he had incident with the Albuquerque police, body cam, shooting out into a field.
Yes.
The domestic violence case, and that was just, there was negotiations going on, because I heard he's like, if you want me to go to heavyweight, yada yada yada, but the UFC just waited him out.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like he I feel like too, he's one of those guys that, like, no matter what, he always just has this competitive drive in him. Like, at some point he's gonna have to quench that thirst. You know what I mean? And like, how old is he? He's like 36, 37 now?
Yes.
So like, and he's at heavyweight, so he could get away with, taking a year or two break and then coming back. And while Tom Aspinall, by then, I think, like, right now he's the best heavyweight in the world. I feel like no one can touch him right now. Like, if I was a betting man, I'd bet Tom Aspinall would still be the heavyweight champion 2 years from now if like a crazy injury or something, happens to him. But like, it could be even bigger of a fight.
Aspinall
years
Francis.
Now.
How does that go?
I think Aspinall would win, honestly.
Whoa!
Because here's the thing.
Nobody ever talks about that potential fight.
Yeah, that's a great fight. Would have been a great fight. I think
First
Aspinall,
round over. Is that like a what do you call
it definitely
cowboy duel?
It definitely would be over quick. I think Aspinall is like good enough to like bounce and be fast and elusive on the outside, and then time when Francis would try to throw big bombs, level change, try to take Francis down. You know what I mean?
That would be
stuff
smart.
like that. Yeah,
Francis is leveling up.
Yes, he is.
Like,
100%.
If Conor did not take that whiskey dive when he became Money Mac after the Mayweather, if he came back to UFC and Khabib with now better boxing in his arsenal, and now like truly focused, because I heard his fight camp for that was
horrendous.
He would do mini fights every week and then pretend that he won and go out drinking, partying.
I saw it was in like his documentary that he released on Netflix.
I refuse to watch that. I don't want to remember him like that. But
yeah.
Did you ever see the first one first, Doc?
Yes.
Bring it back.
Yes, bring it back. But you get a little whiskey money.
Yeah.
All right, so he literally would like go in and spar.
I saw the crying in the locker room.
He'd spar every other day. He'd like beat the shit.
They
literally
show it?
Like sparring clips. He'd beat the shit and fight like literally sparring partners. And like there was one time where he like threw a hard ass kick and he got checked and he broke his foot. And that's why he's like, he always says like, my foot was a balloon, all that shit.
Yes.
That's why. So he would go in like every other day and just like literally spar 5 rounds, but go fucking hard. That was the only training he'd do. One time when he was training, he hurt his foot, broke his foot or his toes or something. Did they do shin guards? Yeah, shin guards. Like it was like 7-ounce gloves, shin guards, but they'd go in and they'd like fight. He would like actually try to like put his sparring partners out. It? Yeah, they showed like clips and stuff of it.
On,
I'm sure it is. On Netflix.
Jeez, nobody sold it to me. My mom tried selling it to me. She goes,
no, it does.
Like from a fighter's perspective, now you sold it to me.
Yeah, from a fighter's perspective, like after looking at that, I was like, oh yeah, he really wasn't doing everything. He's just a psycho, dude. Like he literally, like you could tell too, he just wasn't in the best mental space. And then he'd go in every other day and fucking try to kill his sparring partner, and then he's just a maniac. Well, but
long story short, if he comes back to training, I think it's only good to have a training Conor McGregor. You know,
Yeah,
he's
for
not,
sure.
He's not facing Floyd again. He's facing Jake Paul. No offense.
Yeah, I think he's done, to be honest. I don't think we're going to see
Nothing?
him compete again,
You
no.
don't think that's a fun payday?
You see, I just don't know if he has, like, the desire and commitment to really seek out, like, a full training camp. Like, if we get that, it's going to be, like, half-assed Conor McGregor.
Right.
But, like, I don't think
4
he
or
has
5 week training camp hardcore.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, come on. We watched the old documentary on Netflix with Conor, and he was getting ready for Chad Mendes, and his knee was fucking destroyed, right? He broke his
ACL.
He broke his pinky toe on coming up against Chandler and pulled out of the fight. You know what I mean?
Excellent point.
So, like, that's my
Excellent
point.
point.
Like, I
I
feel like
wanna believe.
that extra hunger and drive, like, really isn't there. Like,
Excellent
he
point.
fought Chad Mendes with fucking no knee. Like, literally, what was it? Like, he had 2 torn ligaments in there. It was all fucked up.
He could no longer do something, and they just wanted to keep it hot. Like in the training, he was wearing sweats. Yeah, good point.
And then in the fight leading up to the fight with Michael Chandler, he breaks his fucking pinky toe and he pulls out of the fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the same. I don't think his mindset. Obviously, it's not the same from when he was coming up as opposed to he accomplished all his goals. Like, he's been saying ever since he got to the UFC, I want to be a 2-weight world champion. I want to have more money than I know what to do with.
Yes.
He has that. Now I think that's the thing too with him is, like, his ego's so big, and, like, I still feel like he has that competitive drive to do something, but I don't think he really has, like, the focus and desire to really train for it and get ready for it. And I feel like he uses kind of any ailment to kind of just be like, all right, I'm out. I'm not 100.
The exit ramp.
The exit ramp.
Like, there's a highway from Montauk to
Yes.
Manhattan. You can get there, but anytime you could take an exit, and
Yes.
it's like. He's no longer in the fast. Like,
No.
Amazing businessman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he would be like. I think he's doing it great already for BKFC.
Yep.
Um,
He's the perfect guy for that, by the way. I think, like, if you could get a spokesperson for fucking bare knuckle boxing, it's Conor McGregor, 100%. Like, but he does great at that. You know what I mean? Like, he's great in that position. I think that as far as competition, I feel like he's done.
yes, I mean. Peak competition.
Peak competition, sure, but
Because I don't think Jake Paul's peak competition.
yes, but he's a big dude that can kind of box.
So you have to watch to find out, right? That's the
Yeah,
sale.
I mean, I would watch it, but, like, would I really want to watch it? Like,
you would
no.
want to be in there. Do you have a younger nephew or niece or cousin?
not younger than me, no, but I know what you mean.
Somebody that
Yes.
you're like, all right, so you got to go back and watch Conor McGregor in 2015. That's what I tell everybody. I don't know why they took down that documentary, Notorious, where he's like, no tattoos yet. He's like, we're on welfare checks. He goes,
Yep.
I'm banging in here with a 80 kilo or like a 90 kilo guy. He wakes up on a Saturday and he's waiting for his sparring partner. And then you see the training in Vegas. You see just the enthusiasm, the drive. Like, he looks I love when they capture the shot when he's making weight for the Mendes fight. Like,
He has the long beard, the long hair.
sunglasses
Yes,
on.
it looks crazy.
And he thinks somebody's like in the living room, and he calls to Dee
Dee,
Devlin, and
yeah.
he's like, Dee, and she's upstairs, and he just like lets his like character go, like
crazy.
Like, even for his wife,
Yep.
girlfriend, he wanted to be macho, and it like that show it. When he makes the weight, he goes like a fucking professional. Like,
Yes.
I fucking like
Yes.
that's the Conor that
is
people need
100%,
to see.
100%. But, you know, that's the thing too. Like we were talking before air too. It's like I feel like guys now that are just kind of entering the space of MMA, like they don't see like the guys at their peak, and they don't remember them for them at the peak. They remember them for like how they are at the end. Like, you know what I mean? Which sucks.
Oh, I want to murder people for talking shit about Chris Weidman.
Oh, dude, same. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Like, you
but-
have no idea.
No idea. But, like, that's the thing that
They know
kinda
Anderson
sucks
Silva
about,
because of Jake Paul.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing that sucks about the sport, you know? It's like the fans don't remember people, I guess, as...
You know who's controlling the narrative.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, the UFC cut Anderson Silva out of their video package.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mighty Mouse. They cut Mighty
Yes.
Mouse out. It's like, dude, that is one of the most, like... I sound like Joe Rogan here, but that expression of martial arts, the suplex to armbar, you're not going to see that.
You're not going to see it again. You're probably not going to see it again, period. Like, Oh no, yeah, 100%.
But I like where the direction's heading. Slowly but surely, we're getting to the more sport. Look at the athletes like Hamzat and Bo Nickel. Like, to me, Topuria, like, who's got the full game coming in, not learning while in the UFC hands.
Yes.
Like, Rogan says this too. Like, you could almost think he's a boxer with some of the mitt work.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Before he got into the UFC, he had like 7 of his 8 fights were via submission that he won. Like he was like 8-0.
Really?
Yeah.
what?
Like he started out purely grappler. Like you ever see some of his
I
early
heard
fights?
he was Greco. I didn't know he had submissions too.
Yes, like I think he got in the UFC when he was like 8 or 9-0, and like 7 of those wins were submissions.
Have you watched it?
Yes, I've
Like,
watched his old fights. Literally shoots for a double leg right away. He has beautiful throws, and then he'll anaconda people. He'll armbar people.
Humble?
What do you mean?
Was he humble with
Yeah,
the victory? He's
yeah.
not
Oh,
like.
yeah, he's
"Fuck
not-
you."
Dude, yeah.
So
I
he's
love
let it out.
Topuria too. I'm a big fan of Topuria, but yeah, no, like his style and everything. But yeah, no, it's crazy. He started out like real, like legit, purely a grappler, and then as you know, he's working on his hands, and now he's like arguably one of the best boxers in the UFC, if not the best boxer in the UFC. But
You
it's
know
crazy.
your shit. And if
Yes,
I
I do.
ever pull this off, I've been wanting to do this for like at least 2 years, like a fight, like a watch companion,
Uh-huh.
and we all just sit on a couch with like
Oh my God, I'd love
off
to do
camp
that.
where
Yes.
pizza's around, and we're just sitting there and just talking about fights, just shit talking. You're definitely invited.
Oh my God, I would
Well,
love to do that.
So, Mr. Know-It-All, fighter of the year, for me, it's Poatan. I think those performances were amazing. People look at the Topuria at the Wikipedia, and they're like, but look at who he knocked out. But it's like,
Yeah,
but
but that's
look at it
not- yes,
really what happened.
exactly.
Max shrank himself. Should have never went backwards.
Mhm.
Go forward, get that Dustin trilogy, fight for Makachev. He looked big. I've seen
Oh, yeah.
side by side the traps, the wings. Like,
Mhm,
he's
mhm.
grown into his man's body. He's got that Polynesian, like,
Yes.
mahogany wood
Yes.
as for bones. Don't shrink yourself, which made him more open to be caught.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't mess around with a guy like Topuria.
Yes.
And Volkanovski, what was it, October to February?
October, yeah, to like first week of February after getting head kicked by Islam Makhachev on like
on.
2 weeks' notice.
Again, the ego,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I would feel like a UFC's like, well, actually, I think it was Volk. Maybe it was part of it because I heard him interview. He's like, mate, I'm good. He's like, I'm good. I'll
but
go.
that's
And it's
that's
like,
the thing. It's like
somebody's got to tell you no.
yes, that's the thing too. Like I feel like his team, like that's kind of on his team to be like, hey, like you gotta sit this one out. You know what I mean?
In the UFC, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a gravy train. They're like, no, we have a schedule because Topuria here, Topuria there,
Mm-hmm.
Topuria there. Like this quarter, that quarter. It's our
Mhm.
financial year. We need to like. They look at it like we're not humans. Like
Yes.
like nobody could get hurt in there.
Mhm.
And yeah, could have waited 2 more months. Like
Yeah, and that could have been a completely different fight. Even the first round, he did great. It was just when he got clipped. You know?
who's your fighter of the year?
Oh, I agree with you. It's Poatan.
Let's go.
100%.
That's why you're definitely invited. So then, when is Gaethje scheduled to come back? UFC 313 against Dan Hooker, March, which is about 12 months from UFC 300.
Mm-hmm.
Safe enough, or would you want more time with the Gaethje thing?
I agree that it's safe enough.
Okay.
He like just released a video log this week, like
Okay.
and I watched it, and he was like, he literally didn't train for months after that. He was just kind of fucking around, playing golf, doing his thing, and he's been sparring, like he started sparring like 3 months ago and has had no issues. So he, like from the video log, he seems fine. He's training
So
hard again.
He
and
he revved the engine a little.
Rev the engine first, like he's not just jumping in a camp, not sparring, and
Good.
is expecting the fight. You know, he did it the smart way, so I believe him. And also too is like Justin, like I feel like people don't give him credit. Like
For what? Who's trolling?
I think people think he's just a fucking madman, crazy man, but he actually like he's very smart with how he lays out his career. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, and even the way he fights. You know what I mean? Like, granted, when he first started fighting, like when he was in WSOF and like
Yes.
his first 2 UFC fights, he was an absolute madman.
Yes.
But since like I heard Trevor Whitman say he like changed his goals. He like when he was doing that fighting like Lunatic, he like wanted to be the most violent fighter, but like he switched his mindset because he wanted to be a world champion. And he started fighting a little bit more reserved and game planning a little bit. You know what I mean? And now I think that's starting to pay out. Like he's being smart about certain stuff. You
the
know?
Tony Ferguson fight was the turn.
Yes.
That was like, they broke him down.
Mhm.
They broke Tony down.
Mhm.
and it was like, that was the first event during the pandemic my brother watched. He goes, I fucking love this guy. Like, and I'm like, yeah, man.
Yes.
I was like, let's go.
But even too, like everyone before that fight was expecting both of them just go ball to the walls.
Right.
But Justin, like, strategically broke him down. And I mean, it still was like as violent as
he's like in there. He's like, how you feeling, bud? How you feeling? All right, I need 10% less. I need 10% less.
And even too, like after he got buzzed in the second round with that uppercut.
That was sick at the buzzer.
Yes,
right.
But Trevor like went up to Gaethje, and Gaethje was like, "Oh my!" Like he was so excited, and he was like, "Hey, you need to stop it. You need to
That's probably
relax."
the clip I saw.
And
Yes.
like it's just like centered him again. He's like, all right, I need to go back to the game plan. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. But like I think like those two, I feel like Gaethje more specifically, like people just kind of think of him as a complete madman. But like he is a madman. Don't get me wrong. But like
that 10 seconds,
he's intelligent.
The reason why it's so crazy because it what was that? I was literally at a house party and I'm sitting there with my phone like a weirdo watching the Chris Curtis. Roman
Kopylov,
the Russian spy.
Yes.
Somebody made a point, and I was like, it's a good point. They're like, you know what Chris Curtis does? He's just going to do a light leg kick box and track you down. Get power in both hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you spying on? But anyway, I'm like, and this guy's Georgian, so we're like hyping up next week or this week about Marab, the Georgian love. He knew about Armin. I think he might have called Islam Chimaev, but I rolled with it. I figured out who he was talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as soon as he turned away, there was the knockout. Oh. Like, because he thought it was over. Like, he went and I was like, look! And my point is, the reason why the Gaethje-Holloway thing is so fucking crazy, because they gave you 7 seconds to like, oh my God. Like, and it's like, what? Whoa. And then it's like.
And it just,
I've never felt so like weird in the stomach because it was like he could. Do you
God.
remember the quote leading up to it? That's what to me sent it over the top. He said that I don't never plan on living on Sunday.
Oh yes,
and
yes,
I was
I
like,
have,
I was like, that's a sick quote, but all right. And then when it happened,
he
it like,
it. Yeah, but
I was like,
he's like one of those guys that like he says that he means it, and also too is like he tried to play that try to break Max down, you know what I mean? He was trying to fight a strategic fight, but like he knew going into the 4th, 5th round, he's like, fuck it, I just need to go balls to the wall. And Max gave him that opportunity to be like, all right, you want your fucking chance to crack me and win this fight? Like, here it is. And they
You're giving me goosebumps.
You know what I mean? Like, dude.
Craziest knockout of all time.
Craziest knockout of all time.
Dude,
oh my God. I remember watching
59.
Dude, I remember watching it, and I was just like, I was just like my jaw literally was on. I didn't speak for like I was watching with a bunch of my buddies, and we were like, "Oh
Everybody
my God!"
Everybody recovered in the next fight, and it was a sick fight between
Yan Xiaonan and
Zhang
Weili.
Zhang Weili.
It was another sick fight. That was crazy.
But it was
fucking
like
choked her out
like
and then woke
you
up.
could catch your breath.
Yes, you can catch your breath. Yes, but
you watch it with people that never don't really watch fights.
So I watched it.
That's the best.
I watched it half. Most of the people, like my friends that I hang out with, they don't do MMA, but they all they watch it. They're big fans. So half with them, and then I actually watched it with Greg Tile, Edwin, Jung. We're at my house watching it.
Did you get a reaction out of Greg?
Dude,
he's a hard reaction.
They both hopped up out of their chair, and I was just sitting on my couch like, oh my God, like, dude.
That's a sick watch party.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. But yeah, dude, crazy.
All time, right?
All time.
Thank
yeah,
you.
that memory's etched into my head.
Yes. I slapped somebody to get off their phone because they're like, oh, 5 rounds, and I'm like,
no, this isn't the one. This isn't the one.
And the guy who is a boxing fan,
he
goes, oh my God, is he dead? And I'm like, well, first of all, I hope not, but I'm like, that doesn't happen that often. I slapped him like something's gonna happen here because Gaethje is not engaging.
100%, and that's the thing too that at the same time I was like, oh my God, but it also broke my heart because I'm such a big fan of both of them, and I hate to see Gaethje go out on a shield like that. You know what I mean? But I know at the same time, even though he really got hurt,
that's where
he wouldn't want to go out any other way. He would have chose to get fucking knocked down in the last 10 seconds than lose a decision. You know what I mean?
I promise you, this is where Dana White flourishes. That he took care of Gaethje.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Even though Poaton's amazing, Jean, oh my God,
Zhang Weili.
No. Her
Yan
opponent.
Xiaonan.
Yan Xiaonan. I'm sorry. I'm a butcher. Even though those fights were spectacular and the
Yes.
whole card was great, Devison Figueiredo, Hanata Moicano, who fights this weekend, Kayla Harrison, Bo Nickel,
Yep.
Aljamain Sterling, amazing card.
Great card.
That fight, I hope he gave Justin $1 million.
100% he did.
Because
100% he did. Even too, going into that fight, you have to remember, like, Gaethje was getting a title shot. Like, he just knocked out Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. He was gonna wait for Islam Makhachev.
Right.
And then
Right.
they were like, all right. And even Max Holloway was like, he just knocked out Korean Zombie. They're like, all right, this is probably next for Topuria, because people were giving shit to both of them. Like, why would both of you take this fight? You guys have title fights in each of your respective divisions. Like, why take this fight? So they definitely got paid regardless. But after that, they definitely got another check. You know what I mean? After putting them on that fucking fight, that finish, definitely, definitely they got taken care of.
Wow. And I'm happy you got to see it with your boys who are casual fight fans, but also the hardcore fighters like Mr. Greg Tile. I think he's super talented. Edwin,
he is.
Obviously super talented.
Yep.
They both, they're doing everything. Grappling, striking, good attitude, strength and conditioning. And you, my friend, you're on that wave as well of the next athlete that's coming in. Like, you guys see the Dana White Contender Series as your door into the UFC. I mean, look at the opportunities it's providing for Law MMA guys or Longo MMA guys. And correct me if I'm wrong. Nas, Matt Frivola, I believe Charlie Campbell. People, what he lost? No. Like we said with the BMF fight, Dana White remembers somebody who is just putting it on the line, and he got a shot. Now I think he's 2 or 3-0 in the UFC. Shout outs to Charlie, and I'm glad to get for Eric Heyer to get that beautiful hair, even though he cut it off to get that beautiful hair on a little ESPN Plus action. But yeah, and I'm sorry if I'm forgetting somebody. Dana White Contender Series, but you guys definitely see that as an easier route. And now that the Law MMA guys are just like completely on the map, it's not like a Matt Serra, Chris Weidman, Aljo. No, now it's it's an institution, and it's one of those factory lines that's like the stamp of approval, the Ray Longo stamp of approval, and you're on that, man. Talk to me about how you're feeling and why February 1st and why now this point that you're at is better than anything we've seen before.
Well, I just think, all the fights that I've had previous, continue to learn. Like, I'm still an amateur, right? So I'm taking every fight in stride. Like, I'm trying to fight the best guys I can find, really try to test myself, like, especially in my last, 3 or 4 fights against tough motherfuckers. And, that's what excites me, you know what I mean? Like, I want to, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, I want to be world-class by the time I do turn professional, because I know at any point in time, hopefully I record together a couple wins, I'm on the short list of getting called, you know what I mean? So, I'm trying to maximize my time as an amateur, just try to be a gym rat, consistent as possible with my training, eating good constantly, sleeping well, just living the right lifestyle and staying my ass in the gym all the time. And, yeah, but February 1st, it's going to be, exciting. I'm very excited for it because I'm not doing MMA. I'm doing kickboxing. Okay. So this will be my second kickboxing fight. And, I had this idea there's a whole bunch of circumstances that kind of led to me do kickboxing over MMA. But even too, before my last fight, I was like, you know what? I'm almost getting to that point where, hopefully a few fights from now, I'll be thinking about turning professional. I was like, I really want to maximize this time, and maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to take 1 or 2 kickboxing fights, just to get that experience, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of circumstances kind of led my decision to do a kickboxing fight in February. And yeah, I'm really excited about it, honestly. Very excited about it.
And I've seen you 2 years ago with beautiful technique, technique that the professionals are doing at the UFC level, main event level. And is it now that we can get to see it under the bright lights? What's been the difference, the biggest difference between you now and 2 years ago?
I think the experience, competing against really tough guys in most of my amateur fights, and just more time that I'm out there in the cage under the lights, I feel like the more comfortable I get, and the better I feel. Like from time to time, I feel a little bit more looser, a little bit more comfortable. I'm still yet to really show 100% what I do in the gym and the cage. You know, a lot of that's, you know, different circumstances. I feel like, you know, whether the guys I'm fighting are actually like that good too, but also too, it's just I need more time in the cage, get a little bit looser. I genuinely like. I know some guys say this or whatever, that they don't like fight night, they hate fight night. I fucking love it. But it's a double-handed thing. It's like I'm almost like too calm. Like I get more nervous going and sparring on Saturdays than I do for my actual fight. And that's what kind of I feel like bites me in the ass a little bit. It's like I'm almost too calm. So I'm like trying to kind of figure out a happy medium, you know what I mean, between that. But every time I compete, it's like I feel myself getting better and leveling up. And even too, like, we talked about like 2 years ago, you know, you said some very nice things. Like I was already pretty tucked away and cleaned up and have good technique, but I feel like I'm just continuing to level up and kind of figure out and develop my own style. You know what I mean? Like it's ever changing and it's ever growing. You know what I mean? Ever evolving. But I'm really like starting to come into my own, and really, I think the biggest thing is for me is like just having confidence in myself and in my abilities, you know what I mean, and knowing I can do, and trusting my eyes and trusting the things that I see when I'm in there. And that just comes with more experience, doing it more, being more proficient with the techniques, you know, being consistent in the gym, doing all the right things. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future.
Don't take this the wrong way. Are you on Adderall?
No, I'm not.
You are hyped up. Are you on cocaine?
No, sir.
Are you on a pre-workout right now?
I am not.
So, do you know who Alex Honnold is?
No, I don't.
He's a free soloist climber.
Okay.
Rogan's had him on a couple times. Super highly intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did like the Olympic commentary because of like his history. Netflix. Oh, dude, you should totally watch this in the next 2 weeks. Like it's maybe a 50 or hour 20 documentary. I'd put it up there with the Conor McGregor documentary. Like I said, the guy's highly intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that fascinated me most about the documentary, spoiler alert, tune out in 3, 2, 1. There was a point where they brought him into like a scientific lab and they wanted to test his brain.
Mm-hmm.
This guy climbs up 3,000-foot mountains with no rope, free soloing.
Holy shit.
And they said that they send these waves to like set off his brain, like the stimulant sensors or whatever. They want to see how much he can take to get him to like a certain level. And they said that he has the calmness or the mental capacity of like somebody who's been on the craziest tours in Iraq, somebody who's like caught a grenade in the air, threw it back, somebody who like John Wicked people in a like the craziest like SEAL. He's so calm. It doesn't wake him up until he's on the mountain. For me, dude, you are like Tommy Calm Gun. Like you're the right like the silencer and the suppressor. I've been playing too much Ghost Recon lately. And for me, it's like I understand why you can't get up on sparring days as much as a fight day. I think that's perfect. Good. It's like it's a familiar situation.
Yep.
You know the situation. You know the entrance, how it goes, who you're going to say hi to, who's always stretching and never actually training. Like you know the routine, so it's familiar. Fight night's exciting. It's new. It's fun. It's new energy. There's never going to be the same guy waiting down the hall. Maybe never the same rap guy. Different music blaring. Like, how are you going to feel? It's like it's maybe a different face in the first row, and it's like, yeah, no shit, you can't get up on the same dopamine level as sparring. I love that. Do you come alive on fight nights? And again, friends and family of Tommy, I didn't mean anything by the Adderall, cocaine, and the meth accusations. All right, I'm making a point here. He's got wonderful energy, and I love it, and I don't think enough people know how to channel their energy like Tommy. Idle hands. Tommy's on the right path. You should too if you're judging me. No offense taken, right?
No offense taken.
Okay, do you understand the point I'm getting
I do understand the point you're getting at.
That's your drug. Correct?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about what it does to you, what it makes you feel. Why do you keep doing it? Explain to people who don't understand.
Well, it's like something you hinted at. Like I've never drank. I've never done any drugs at all, period. I'm not much of a guy that goes out and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
You guys heard that?
Yes, no cocaine for me. But like it gives me purpose, and I don't know. I don't understand why. It's just something I've always like. I feel alive. It gives me purpose. Like it's always. I say this to my friends all the time. It's like the calmest I ever am, and the most at peace I am with myself is fight week. I just absolutely love fight week. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, and I feel like I only get calmer as the days go by, and then by fight night, and by the time I'm getting my hands wrapped, I'm just at most peace. That like I don't. Once again, I don't know why. I've always been a huge fan of mixed martial arts, and I've always wanted to do it ever since I was a little kid, and like I always too like would put myself in their shoes and kind of envision myself in the situations that they're in. Literally every single weekend, I watch the cards from the first prelim of the night all the way to the main event. Like, I'm just completely a nerd junkie about it, but like I always have been visualizing myself in their position, how I want to feel, how I would feel, how I will feel when I'm there. And it's just like I just absolutely love it. I love fight night. Get there, and it's like, don't get me wrong, it's like a nervous energy, but like I feel like I do a really good job of channeling that into something very positive, And once again, I don't know like how I do it or whatever. I just love it. I feed off of the crowd's energy. I feed off of competition and the act of fighting. Like I just love the violence about it. Once again, I sound like a psychopath. I don't know. I just feed off of that energy, and especially too now, like now I really feel like I'm starting to come in my own as a fighter and like really develop my own style. And like I said, like I'm building confidence in myself, and I'm trusting my eyes and seeing stuff and being able to feint and capitalize on certain stuff that, my opponent's doing, like certain stuff like that. I feel like I'm really starting to I'm starting to understand it and be confident in it.
I was going to ask, like when you were talking about the evolution of your game, of yourself, like, are you seeing the day-to-day rewards or week-to-week, month-to-month? And apparently you are.
100% I am. 100% I am. Even to, like, it's funny, like, I record every single sparring session I've ever had. So, like, even to, like, going back, like, the other night, I was watching my sparring from this past weekend. Something I do. I'm a psycho, I'm telling you. I, like, watched my sparring from this weekend the other night, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back 3 months and just see how I was, like, when I was getting ready for my last fight. And I watched it, and then I watched from literally 3 months.
In terms of because you're your biggest critic?
Yes, 100%. Even to like from this weekend, I'm like, there's certain stuff that I'm like, all right, I need to stop doing that. I need to fix this. But at the same time, I'm still objective enough where I could see the evolution I've had from, this past weekend, me sparring, and then me sparring in September. You know what I mean? Like and that's something I feel like I'm do really good at, is just being really objective and honest with myself. Like I really like look at myself like I used to play the old UFC games when I was a kid, like my creative fighter. That's how I feel. I'm like my own creative fighter.
Yeah.
But I'm like brutally honest with myself. I'm like, okay, I need to stop doing this. Need to, fill that hole. I got to do more of this, more of that. I got to cut that out. I can add to this. I got to, you know what I mean? But I'm still in a good headspace where I could see the evolution still. You know what I mean? Like I'm not so much of like on my ass. I'm not so hard on my, like I can look at it honestly and objectively, which I think is a really good trait that I have.
Joe Rogan always talks, and again, February 1st coming up, Combat at the Space, Lou Neglia. If you guys aren't pumped for it, like this is the type of athlete that's going out there and putting everything on the line for your entertainment. And to just be the best version of themselves. Martial arts, mixed martial arts specifically, brings that out in people. I always believe that the truth is revealed on fight night of what happened in the weeks and months prior. I wholeheartedly believe that. So I'm very excited to see you get the victory on February 1st. Talk to me about your opponent. No game plan or anything. Just talk to me about
who he is.
Yeah, sure.
Whole deal. Sure. So my opponent is Sergio Andrade. I actually fought him in MMA. It was my second MMA fight. Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Yes, the rematch. First rematch in my career.
Wow.
But yeah. So I fought him in my second MMA fight. I fucked him up really bad, and I didn't get the finish, but we were still doing novice rules. I feel like I definitely would have gotten the finish if I was able to throw hands on the ground, but I beat him up really bad. But this time
around,
want
the rematch? He want this.
Well, that's the thing. It's kickboxing now. He's had a bunch of Muay Thai, kickboxing fights, stuff like that. He is like definitely more of a striker. Like even when I fought him, he was more of a striker. And he still thinks that he could beat me, so he wouldn't take this fight. So that's what I'm expecting. Like he's gonna come fucking now. He knows what to expect out of me. And even though it was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, like I'm completely different. But I know like he wants this one back, and that motivates me even more.
So in terms of motivation, how do you keep from resting on your laurels? You beat them up.
Yes.
Fucked them up.
Fucked them up.
How do you just remind yourself that it's a new date?
I just look at it like as pretty much a completely different fight, Like it was a while ago. We're both amateurs, and like I'm assuming, right, that he's in the gym every single day, same as me, so he's definitely evolved as well. Like we're both going to be completely different. Even too, like the striking exchanges, like I remember even when I was in there, like, and I watched tape on him before that. I knew his patterns, knew his tendencies. Literally the first exchange of the fight, I knew he was going to throw like a double jab at me, and I slipped on the inside. I hurt him with a left hook. Ooh. And this is like another thing, like the evolution is like after I saw I hurt him and he backed up on the cage, I went fucking crazy trying to go nuts. And then as soon as he skirted out, I like shot in, lifted him up, carried him in my corner, slammed him. And that was pretty much how every single round would go. And then it would just be me, like, in full mount, but I can't strike him in the head type of a thing. You know what I mean? But
I think I remember that.
Yes, but I'm expecting, he's going to be tough. He's a tough dude. He's going to come in shape. Like, his style and everything, like, he's just very... even too, like, his nickname is, like, Twitch. He's just like how he fights. He's just, like, everything's kind of annoying, like low kicks, jabs, just always kind of throwing something at you, walking forward, and I'm expecting that, and I'm gonna. But then again, like he has to have some confidence, otherwise he wouldn't have taken this fight,
right.
So
maybe
like I'm
he's
expecting
on steroids.
Who knows?
You never know. They say steroids gives confidence.
That's true.
You're ready for the best version, right?
Ready for the best version, absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. Sponsors, merch.
Warrior Garden. Shout out Warrior Garden. Dr. Nick. He's the fucking man.
Dr. G.
Yes, he's the man.
How do you say his last name?
Gilberti?
Yeah.
Gilberti, right?
Yeah. I've butchered it before. Just like Jean Wan Nan.
Yes, Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's never coming on.
I appreciate him. He hooks me up with gear, hooks me up with fight shorts every time. Super nice guy. And really, my last fight I did shirts, which was really cool. I always wanted to do shirts. I did shirts just by myself the fight before that, and it was a shit show. I felt like I wouldn't even like people would ask me for shirts. I'd be like, all right, just take it. Like I wouldn't make them pay for it, and I lost so much money. Oh, it's terrible.
Gotta have a non-pushover girlfriend who could be your sales.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like I know even too like now like the people that are buying my merch are my friends and family, so I feel bad making them. It's like the weird thing. I like feel bad, but like you know what I mean. I'm making them buy a ticket to my fight and my shirt. It's one of those weird things. But he's taking care of that stuff for me, which is super. And he makes like sick stuff. Like the designs for my last shirt was really cool.
I've heard great stuff about the gloves.
Oh, yeah, gloves are great.
I heard the gloves, somebody was at the gym said it's the best glove they've ever had.
Yeah, no, gloves are great. Quality merch. Like,
how much you getting paid?
Yeah,
and I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to try it. Like, the white ones look sick.
Yes.
Have you messed around with them?
I haven't, but I know with the big gloves, with the boxing gloves, I haven't.
Oof.
Haven't used the boxing gloves.
They look crispy.
Yeah. No, they look good.
Dr. G, and hopefully he gets him in there. Like, he could, like, mess up the guy and then, like, hey, are you all right? Let me stretch you. Like,
yes.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And yeah, we made drifted for at least like half of this podcast talking about like current events and some fights and previous fights. Dude, you got me hyped up. Like I could talk shop about fighting all day.
Dude, you ever want to do this and just come here and talk fucking fights? I'm 100% down. Always down.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we'll figure out a fight night or a pay-per-view night. I'll leave it up to you to pick two other guys that will carry a conversation or show up at least. I don't know. Yeah, man. You got an army behind you. You got a big support team. The one of the clips that I put up from the interview that we did months back, it's one of the most viewed clips like in the Octagon Instagram history. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, don't feel bad about people buying a ticket or merch, man. They're supporting you. Mm-hmm. You're going to support them later, whether 100%. You open up a gym in Stony Brook or out there somewhere locally, or you open up some type of like foundation or charity. You'll give back.
Yes,
it's
100%.
Inside of you, man.
100%.
It's inside of you. So don't feel bad about it. Just understand it that people care about you and they want to see you do well.
Yeah.
And the reason why we connected is just, I don't know. People are like, oh, somebody just asked me, like, who do you choose to come in? I was like, I don't know. People that I just have good energy with, cool energy. There's no like, oh, this guy liked this post or he unfollowed me. No, it's just like, who can I just talk to off there and like have a conversation with? Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you, brother. And I appreciate you for making the trip.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on and giving me a platform. Thank you.
No worries. Hopefully the platform keeps growing and
then
a million people could know your story. Anything you want to say in closing?
I just want to thank all my friends and family who continue to support me. Catch my next fight. If you guys need tickets, hit me up on Instagram at Thomas Fitzsimons. February 1st, going to be my best performance yet. Can't wait.
And I can't wait. Thank you, Lou Neglia. Thank you, Ryan Munkin, Ray Longo, and all the wonderful, fine staff and employees that put their time and energy to putting on these amazing events. Guys, no offense to MSG. I mean, it's the Mecca. It's amazing. Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, John Jones now, Daniel Cormier, Israel Adesanya, like GSP. So many great people have fought inside the Garden, but there's something special about that. The Westbury space,
small intimate
shows, that Duke Tar Heel atmosphere. I'm telling you guys, check it out. February 1st. If you can't be there, you lazy freaks, then ToroTV.net, I believe, is the site where you can purchase the pay-per-view and stream it. No excuses, Grandma. Get on there and stream it. I love you guys. Tommy's the man. Follow him. Follow his journey. Follow Warriors Garden. And tune in February 1st for the man to put on the work. Your boy is out. Peace.